on the internet. If they knew the words, they'd sing along. It's the Eternal Baseball Podcast, version 8.0. We want to say a special hello to our friends north of the border, as it's a very Canadian influence on the Eternal Baseball Podcast tonight, and Brent's in spirit. I didn't have anything Expo I could wear tonight, so I stuck with the old Sun Devils. But one, I mean, it's a reach. But Hubie Brooks, Sun Devil turned Expo, so yeah,
nice.
We got something going there.
Like I told you earlier, I've been holding on to this for 15 years. I found it in a Goodwill, just a dusty corner of the Goodwill, and it just called out to me. So it's my poor wife has had to put up with seeing this for 15 years, like in the corner of my office.
Let's see the profile shot. How big of a brim you got going there?
All right, let me take off the mic.
All right. You could play in that. That thing's probably legit for taking a fastball.
You're right. That'll be our special episode. Brent takes a fastball when we're it's Expos of it.
It'll protect the brain pan. I have no doubt that thing is certified and tested, and
followed by the extensive fortnight of surgeries that I have to do to my skull.
It's probably approved for two things: holding nachos or ice cream. And that's it.
So, some dude just labored through like 2 liters of ice cream at the stadium back in the day.
Right, and then walked as far as Utah and collapsed, and someone sold his hat.
Just went down in the desert.
Just done. Just
bones. Here's to you, my man.
Bones picked clean, Jean-Pierre. But we appreciate you making the trip. So yeah, it is. It's no offense to the Rockies, but that is our game of the week. We'll be having Expos at Rockies coming up a little bit later in the program. And I think those teams, they split the first 2 games of the set, and they've combined for 35 runs in 2 games. So it's a Coors Field special. Sure to be arena baseball tonight with Ubaldo Jimenez and Dennis El Presidente Martinez on the mound. So
all right,
look for some fireworks a little later in the program. I do want to share my screen here, give you a look at the week that was in internal baseball. Share that audio. And there we go. So, here's what we're looking at. And it was kind of an interesting week, especially because, move all the way down here, it's the week the Giants became mortal. And this is this shows how dominant they've been, that it's the headline is Giants go 3-3, because for a team that hasn't had a 500 week all season, winning weeks every week, 3-3 is kind of a stunner, and it didn't draw anything close out in the National League West where they're still just rolling. But I think they actually started off like 1-3 or 2-3, and so anytime they lose, it's kind of stunning when the scores roll over. So
Roger Craig's got to be irate right now.
Right, so mad. So who knew? Yeah, who knew? It's a long season. The Giants look mortal this week for the first time ever. But the actual one of the biggest, well, I think the biggest story here is the Atlanta Braves went 6-0. And if you're a Braves fan, the only thing as good as that is the Astros going 0-6 the same week. Because they're both in the National League South. So the Braves went from 4 games back last Monday to 2 games up today. Like they made, a month's worth of progress really in a week. So Atlanta is red hot. And another team that I don't think is getting maybe the recognition they deserve. The Orioles have been amazing. I think they've won 18 of 22 to just fire up in the East. They're tied with the Yankees at 3 games back of Boston. Boston's still playing real well, although this week was a bit of a scuffle for them as far as they go at 3-3. So, but Boston was so hot if you look at weeks 3, 4, and 5, they've built a nice little lead, and they've been able to withstand a little bit of that Baltimore, New York comeback this week. But that was really the big news divisionally, that Atlanta, that's the only division leader that changed this week, Atlanta taking over the Astros. And I thought I would enjoy that a little bit more because there's all that simmering angst with Houston anyway. But I think it's a little bit different with Eternal Baseball fans because there aren't that many of the 2017 Astros on the Eternal Baseball Astros. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Hard to get mad at Dickie Thon, man.
right? Like, he had nothing to do with that, right? This is Bagwell and Biggio and Berkman and Derek Bell, anybody else with a B I can think of. But I think it's only like Altuve, Springer, maybe Gurriel, Correa. There's a few, but there's not a lot. So I don't think that simmering angst bleeds over too much into Eternal Baseball. But if it does, then you're a happy fan this week because the Astros absolutely took it on the chin this week. As I think, our only 0-6 squad. So a little bit of rough going for them. But by and large, it was, it was kind of a mixed week. Some of our regularly dominant teams weren't quite as dominant. Some of our rough teams continue to have a rough go of it. Tampa Bay had a rough week. The Nationals had a rough week.
Told you we should have called the season for the Mariners after week 1.
I think they were like 9-2, right? They were
9-1 after 2 weeks.
Just flying out of the gate. So anyways, I just would like things to be competitive. So if some of the division, the runaway division leaders start to come back to the pack a little bit, I'd be totally fine with that. And it's a long season, and who knows? So slumping guys maybe getting hot again. An injury can bite anybody. Though I will say that the injuries really haven't played much of a large role. No team has gotten ransacked by injury. And the only team that really had I don't know if it's devastating, but the worst injury we saw was the Marlins, who lost Jose Fernandez for like 6 weeks. But it feels like, I don't know if it's in the sim or if it's just the baseball gods smiling on Eternal Baseball, but nobody's had a season ender, a Tommy John or a blown out knee, or we haven't had any player lost for the whole year, which is good, I think, because in this kind of league, everybody's got talent they can call up, but there are no trades to be had. So, if you're a dynamite team and your catcher is gone for the year, you're going to have to go with your backup because there's no waiver deadline, there's no trade deadline. So the overall health of the league, I think, is a good thing. But the one thing that stung today, we're getting ready for Expos Rockies, and we're going to sim Monday's game as our game of the week tonight. And in today's Expos game, Tim Raines rips up his hand on second base and is gone for a week. So here we go. Let's go Expos. We don't that Tim Raines guy. We don't have him. Marquise Grissom getting called up. Not bad. If you're going to call up a guy, Marquise Grissom joins the active roster, but
rated rookie.
Right? Yeah. I always like the base stealers from Raines and Ricky Henderson. Not Coleman so much, but I was sad to see Tim Raines go on the injured list today for the Expos. Another thing we saw today, and this is an interesting thing to talk about. So Roger Clemens is dealing today against the Tampa Bay Rays. He's got a no-hitter into the 8th inning. Boston leads 3-0. So up 3-0 it was in Boston, in Fenway. Leading off the 8th inning, down 3-0, Rocco Baldelli bunts his way on to break up the no-no.
Dude.
And that is the only hit Tampa got. So Clem Rogers, one of our players of
premature quotes for Rocco coming up, man.
That happened in was it to the Diamondbacks? I think Schilling was throwing it for the Diamondbacks when I was in Arizona. Yeah. And I think one of the Padres bunted his way on, or I don't know if he bunted his way on or tried to bunt his way on. But the Diamondbacks were not. But it was a different argument because it was a 1-0 game.
I remember that. Yeah.
Right.
That's a harder argument for sure.
Yeah. Where do you fall on this? Where's if you're the skip and you didn't send that in, what are you telling Rocco when he comes back in?
Telling Rocco or the Padre guy?
Yeah, I guess. Well, either one, right?
Rocco's getting a fastball in the ear. That's 3-0.
Yeah. And their Tampa's is pretty much out of it in the East. Again, long season, but with the Yankees playing well, Baltimore streaking, and Boston with a decent lead, and no wild cards in eternal baseball, Tampa's going to have to overcome 3 really good teams to win that East. Probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
And they got Rocco Baldelli bunting his way on in the 8th. Like, oof.
Love it.
Yeah, I think at 1-0 you can defend that. At 3-0, that's.
Well, wasn't the Padre? He was a rookie too, wasn't he? Or I mean, this is a guy who actually was trying to. Wasn't he trying to?
Yeah.
There's a rookie that was trying to make his. So you had that added pressure trying to stay up with the club, and
yeah,
I give that guy a little bit of slack.
There was a lot going on, and in a 1-0 game, it is a different argument, I think. But I'm sure Raj was thrilled that actually they have a game tomorrow, right? On the Monday schedule. So we'll see if anybody hits Rocco Baldelli tomorrow.
Now, if they included that in the sim, that would be amazing.
That'd be pretty cool, right? I could see that.
3 straight hit by pitches.
Pop, 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 just like that. Well, that was I also wanted to see on when Manny Ramirez had his 4-homer game earlier in the Eternal baseball season. Was did he get hit? You know, how did it work? And I think that was it. I think he had 3 homers and he got hit in his 4th at bat, and then homered in his 5th. And I'm like, that seems like something Manny would do, right? Manny being Manny and all, but. So that was one of the big deals for today. We did have a big deal on, I think it was Thursday. Yeah, Thursday for the Indians. Center fielder Earl Averill grounded out to shortstop in his first at bat, struck out in his second at bat, then went in order, triple, single, homer, double in a 4-for-6 day, 2 runs, 2 RBI. Only got those 6 at bats because it was a 12-2 stomp by the Indians over the White Sox. But getting that last at bat let him hit that double that gave him the first cycle in eternal baseball history. So cycles they're cool and they're kind of weird because I think if you look at the list of guys who've done it, it's kind of a cross section, right? There's some Hall of Famers on that list, but there's some guys you'd never recognize either. It just takes, I guess that's why it's cool. No hitters too on some level. It just takes that one day when it's all clicking. So
and a little bit of luck.
A little bit of luck, yeah. So good news for Earl Averill. And then also this week, his Cleveland teammate, and I know the name, most baseball fans do, but I've never known how to pronounce Nap Lajoie, which I listened to a couple things, and that's how
I was gonna say you're gonna pull that out in front of the Montreal fans,
right? Seems to be pronounced, yeah. And one of his parents was French Canadian, and I never knew he grew up in Woonsocket, Rhode Island, which is
is that down the road?
Well, everything's down the road in Rhode Island, right? So,
right.
but near my stomping grounds right now. So anyway, Nap Lajoie. Who was the first Triple Crown winner. Look that up. He had a good week. He went 15 for 27 at the plate this week to lift his average to 378. And he took over the overall batting lead from George Brett, who's had it for like 6 weeks. And Brett's only 2 back at 376. So we're not anointing Nap or Napoleon, as his friends call him, with the title just yet, but we do have a new batting leader, so we're happy to see that fight for the overall crown. And had 3 other changes in pitching staffs this week. Dave Stieb got put in the corner for Toronto about a month ago, but the rotation has continued to struggle. So he made his return today, replacing J.A. Happ, who's had a tough season as well. And Stieb lost to the Birmingham Knights, who are one of the best hitting teams in our league. But he only gave up 2 earned in 7 innings, which is by far his best start of the year. So
yeah, that's great.
Welcome back, Dave Stieb. In Philly, they're having a good season. They're leading the East. Matter of fact, hang on, I'll get down the weekly here, and we'll bring up the standings so people can check it out. It's small though, but whatever. Philly is up here with a 6-game lead over the Mets. in the East, but the rotation has been shaky, and their best reliever, at least long relief, has been Kurt Schilling. No surprise. So Kurt's going to move into the starting rotation and replace George McQuillan for the Phillies. So that could well be a shot in the arm for them. Not that they need it, but it's notable that he's pitched well. And there were 3 or 4 guys he could have replaced. So we'll see how Kurt does starting for the Phillies. And then for the Yankees, Allie Reynolds has been torn up all year long. While same story, Masahiro Tanaka's been great in long relief. So Tanaka got put in the starting rotation this week for Allie Reynolds, threw a 1-hitter against the Red Sox. Wow. So that'll get you another turn for sure. So we'll see how that spot goes out in New York. And that's the week that was. If you're a subscriber at eternalbaseball.com, you can sign up for our newsletter. And we took a look at streaking and fading teams right now. Again, it's a long season. But we always try to look at something unique in the newsletter. So if you sign up there at eternalbaseball.com, we'll have something else unique for you next week as we dig, pull the curtain back a little back. There's so many stats available that it's hard to get them all up on the website. So we always try to find something cool that you can see on that newsletter, which goes out every Friday. So got plenty of days to get signed up and be ready for the newsletter this coming Friday. So that's where we're at in the league right now. And I think that gets us all set for our game of the week.
All right.
I think there's only 8 teams after tonight who haven't appeared on the game of the week. We're going to try to get to every team as best we can, every team at least once before we get to anybody twice. So when we were looking at the roster, we hadn't had Montreal on yet. And it was at Colorado, and just, the baseball flies in Colorado. So it seemed like kind of a no-brainer. And then I was on our Facebook page yesterday putting up the players of the day or something or other. And I was scouting out some other baseball groups, and I found an Expos fan group that we hadn't connected with yet. And so I sent them a request, and they invited us in, and then shared like the starting 9 image, which is always a good hook because it shows visually these 9 guys together. And overnight, we got 80 or so people liking that individual photo. And once they like it, we can send them a personal invite to our page. And a bunch of them went there. And you were looking at the analytics for our main homepage, eternalbaseball.com. And we had ourselves a little spike on Saturday.
Boom.
And all from Montreal. Who knew?
Love it.
So it was interesting to see. I got an email from Brent that said, "Hey, we spiked a little bit today. Something going on specifically?" And I'm like, just made some friends in an Expos group. It made a difference. So
you fired up our OnlyFans and
so we actually won't be playing as the Expos tonight. So I hope they'll forgive us if we put it to them as the Rockies, because as you know, we have won 2 straight on the Eternal Baseball podcast, 2 and 5 on the season. But I like to look at it more as focused on the win streak. The 2 that we've got going. So
I've got to figure it out, man. It's anecdotes. Wait, what was the other thing? I can't remember.
Don't be mean. Don't make fun of anybody.
All right, I'm out.
Yeah, no, we're done. So Coors Field, hello. And let's
anecdotes and compliments. That's right. That was the second part of our equation.
So as I recall, it's Ubaldo Jimenez tonight as we look at pitching staff here. Yep. And then it's Dennis Martinez, El Presidente for the Expos. He's right-handed, so we'll load the right-handed lineup. And then we're always looking at here. This is RP is replay. So this is how guys are actually hitting in the sim versus maybe what they were scheduled to hit. So Tulowitzki is out of control, but has only had 31 at-bats. Whereas Trevor Story has been kind of disappointing by Trevor Story numbers. So it looks to me like Tulo is going to get a little start here.
Let's do it.
Drop him in. The only other bit that looks somewhat notable looks like Nick Hundley has hit well, but Ionetta is not that much worse. So Ionetta is a 4 defensively. Let's see here. If I go to catchers.
I think we're going to score some runs today, Mark.
I got that feeling, right? All right, they're both rated as 4s defensively, Ionetta and Hundley. But Ionetta is the better player, so I think we can probably let that roll. So if we're looking at, again, what they've done in Eternal Baseball so far this year, we want to have Burks, Arenado, Lee-ma-hue up near the top. Lee-ma-hue looks like he could come up a little bit. And Walker and Dickerson have struggled. By comparison, right? By what they should be. So
it's amazing that Cargo is on the farm.
Yeah, I'm wondering why he didn't make it further up, or maybe that's a guy we should consider. He has played a little bit this year, 29 at bats, and has hit pretty well. And Dickerson's been terrible. I mean, terrible. So, it's not out of the realm of possibility that, well, let's see. I think I would have to, let's drop Holiday in here just as a placeholder. And that would let us sit Dickerson and call up Carlos. And then Carlos for Holiday. All right.
It's a good looking lineup.
So we got some moves here. I think Burks needs to come up a little bit. It's a lot of righties, though. Maybe we'll just swap Burks and Gonzalez. So we got, pretty good. All right, I think we're looking pretty good here.
All right.
Although, wow, Walker has struggled by Walker standards anyway. So maybe that'll mix things up a little bit. Okay. I think we're pretty good there. What do you think?
I like it. Let's do it.
It's weird to see Helton struggling at 8:03, but okay. All right, fine. So here we go.
Welcome to Coors Field, where Montreal will take on Colorado. Dennis Martinez will start the game for Montreal. He's made 9 starts on the year and is 3-4 with an earned run average of 6.16. His first start against Colorado. He'll be opposed by Ubaldo Jimenez for Colorado. He's made 7 starts on the year and is 1-3 with an earned run average of 6.15.
Just 2 terrible pitchers. We're going to be here till 10 p.m.
Right? I mean, what could go wrong?
Left to right.
At least the wind is sideways.
Jimenez. Leading off
You might have to close this out. I'm sure my family's going to come get me by the 4th inning.
All right, one thing I do need to do here is change some of the display here. Let's see. All right, so large icons, label large. All right, that's a little better, I think.
All right.
So Carlos Gonzalez just called up for the game. He's happy to be here. Ellis Burks, Larry Walker. That was one of the questions the Expos fans had right away when they saw their lineup. I don't see any Larry Walker. Yeah, about that. And then the guy
interview is over.
A guy mentioned John. I pumped up their pen because their pen's pretty good. Because it's Vina and Tim Burke and Woody Fryman and Jeff Reardon. Like, they got a good pen. And Mel Rojas, who I always thought was underrated. And I mentioned they're pretty strong pen, and they're like, and John Wetland too, right? I'm like,
I said too much.
Ended up in Texas. Best years in Montreal, but spent a little more time in Texas. And this is what we talked about last week when we were talking about great defensive teams. And Colorado doesn't leap to mind, but You got Arenado over here as a 10 defensively, Tulowitzki a 7, Lee-ma-hue an 8, Helton a 9. Now, Arenado's not 4 with a 1 arm. Good thing Tim Raines got hurt. That's all I
I might as well be playing catcher tonight.
Right? Man, maybe he can bounce it off the mound. And then, so, all right. So, Orlando Cabrera for your Montreal Expos. Oh, wait a minute. I think I did something wrong here. Options. Oh, yeah, Montreal should be computer controlled. There we go. Okay. I'm learning to read the outfielders
Second baseman,
and how they're moving on the screen.
Gotcha.
Because everything looks like a home run to me. So I'm just trying to read the outfielders on it.
I'm just gonna read you reading the outfielders.
Right?
That's how I'm gonna determine whether I should get excited.
Guerrero,
Vidro looks ready to run. I think we'll keep an eye on him over there. That's better. It's funny how one pickoff attempt, a failed pickoff attempt, will drop a guy's stolen base percentage in this situation from 71 to 36. So you stay put, Jose.
left
Sit
field,
down, Vladdy.
Moises Alou,
Oh.
You get him? I think we got him. Yeah, there we go.
All right.
pitching for Montreal, Dennis Martinez.
It's not a bad
Up for
picture.
Colorado,
He looks pretty tough.
Todd Heldon.
I don't like the full-on pure white background, like they're selling them on eBay or something. But it's funny that every team has somebody to be mad about. Mets fans were furious
Baseman,
that
number
Gary Carter
28,
was in
Nolan
Montreal,
Arenado.
and that one's not even that close. He spent far more time in Montreal, but
Yeah, the curls don't lie. In those
Right.
photos.
I love that
Left
he
fielder,
was.
number
That
5,
Carter was
Carlos
generally considered. I mean, they
Gonzalez.
called him the kid, right? Because he played with the passion of like a fifth grader. But he was also a super nice guy and very religious. And I can only imagine how lost he must have felt on that 86 Mets team, right? There's that someone wrote a great book about them called The Bad Guys Won.
Okay.
It was just a hive of scum and villainy.
There you go. I love it. Most Isley.
Gary Carter in the middle of it, right? But all right,
He must have just walked through the locker room in the airport
Right?
just like this.
or he may have been picking a guy a day to try to have the talk with, right? Hey, do you have a minute, Lenny?
Lenny,
You got it? No.
yo, Nails, come here.
Right. All right, fine. Hey, rookie. Yeah, what's your name again? Kevin Mitchell. You know what? I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. Well, there's Cargo grounded into a double play. Welcome to the bigs, kid.
First baseman, Andres.
Tim Raines does not make that play at second.
Right.
Center fielder,
Probably true.
Rondell
Dang it.
White.
Rondell having a tough year. I like that Tulowitzki got to play like 2
Catcher,
games as a Yankee.
Gary Carter.
Right? They signed him for nothing. And I was like, you know what? Sure. Maybe there's some pixie dust left in there somewhere. It's pretty much no risk. Yeah, he was still overpaid. He played like 3 games.
What was his injury in New York? Do you remember? Or was it just
I think
the
it was
usual?
lingering back problems.
Oh, yeah.
For a shortstop, I'm not mad at him. It wasn't as a Yankee fan, it wasn't like Ellsbury, right? It wasn't like you're paying him forever and he's just, eating up payroll on your. Not that there's a cap, but
I remember when he signed because they signed so quickly. Do you remember that? It was Boris. Boris never signs anybody in was it November? I think it was really early. And then it's like, oh, he signed this deal with New York. It's like, oh man. And you look at the numbers, you're like, oh man.
Yeah. And
I love Ellsbury, Central Oregon to the core, but man, that was a deal.
And that was right after Brett Gardner had kind of not exploded like Rookie of the Year, but out of nowhere. Like Yankee rookies are always more hyped than they should be. But Gardner had no hype, like a 22nd round pick out of South Carolina or something like that. And he came up, he had a great year. And then they signed a guy who does exactly the same stuff.
Yeah.
It was just
it's hard to get mad at, Central Oregon, Madras, man.
Yeah,
Hard to get mad at Ellsbury.
I'm not mad at Ellsbury, but the fact that Boston didn't fight New York for him, right? Should have set off a couple of bells, right? Like,
the minute Boris said yes, like in November, they should have been like, wait, hold on. Like, back connection.
Yeah, hang on. All right, so here's the kid. He looks pretty happy to be here.
Second baseman,
that defense.
Number 26, DJ, Lee-ma-hue-ya.
Lee-ma-hue-ya. I was really surprised when they let Lee-ma-hue-ya walk.
Well, Troy Tulowitzki.
You know what? I'll give him credit for Tulowitzki.
Yeah, I kind of nailed it.
Lee-ma-hue-ya.
Lee-ma-hue-ya.
It's funny because we are playing as Colorado here, but I pull for the Expos every day. I watch a lot of their games in Eternal Baseball because I don't, even as a Steeler fan, right? I didn't like it when the Browns left Cleveland. I don't like it when supportive fan bases lose their teams. That's never happened to me, but I got to imagine it's just, as a sports fan, and keep it in perspective, but as a sports fan, it can't be much worse than, by the way, your team doesn't play here anymore. So,
yeah, you saw that with the Sonics too, right?
Yeah. And I never rooted for the Sonics, but I didn't want them gone. And matter of fact, as once Seattle got hoodwinked by the Thunder, I'm like, well, there's the new team that I'll never root for. I'll always pull against the Thunder. Yeah. Even maybe after ownership changes, right? Like the Cleveland owners aren't the same owners, right? But
I love that. Was it the Seattle owner made some comment about how he had no idea that a bunch of oil and nat gas guys from Oklahoma were going to move the team?
Yeah,
just like had no idea that this is actually out of the blue.
Talk about instant karma, where every team in the NBA now is just trying to load up and get 3 stars to win that title, right? Because they all, the NBA guys all got to get together on a team now. Can't lead their individual teams. Got to get together. We'll all be in Brooklyn. Half the league will play in Brooklyn next year. But they had Westbrook, Harden, Durant for 2 or 3 years together. Didn't win a title.
Oh, I mean, and they let him. Oh, yeah. Anyway,
karma. That's karma right there.
Hey, we got a comment. Let me pull her up.
I wouldn't say I'm missing it, Bob. Yeah, and the people watching WrestleMania are missing the Eternal Baseball podcast.
There you go. It's all framing.
Right. So back to it. We got Tulowitzki on 1 out. He's not much of a runner. I don't think there's much we can do here. But let Larry Walker do his thing and fly out.
Center fielder.
I just want to test Guerrero's arm once.
I guarantee you we'll only do it once.
Just once.
I saw him in spring training when I lived in Arizona. The Angels complex is right down the street in Tempe. And I saw a Rook hit one just a little bit to Guerrero's right and take a little bit of a wide turn around first base. And I guarantee you he wasn't going to second, right? But I think he just wanted to see the arm. And it was early enough in the game that Guerrero was still playing. And this kid, I don't remember who it was, but he had a number that screamed rookie, like 85, right? He had a wide receiver number on. And he curled around first, took a little bit of a turn, and Guerrero just fired the howitzer. And you could hear the pop of, I think it was the shortstop's glove, because it was the simplest throw, right? It was right field to second base. So it didn't even have time for drag or physics to work on it. It was just wham into the glove. And it was early in spring training, and the Angel fans were so happy to see Vlad back that he got a standing O for a throw on a guy that wasn't even advancing.
I love it. And you know the shortstop was just started swearing out that rookie, right? It's like,
right. Yeah, you catch it next time.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, Vlad's arm was something. Ellsworth
Oh!
Third baseman.
to the corner.
Larry.
All right.
Larry Parrish, and we get this from Expo fans a lot. Where is Tim Wallach? Well, if you look at actual peak OPS, both Bob Bailey and Larry Parrish are slightly superior to Wallach. The Wallach is a far better defender than either of them. Parrish and Bailey have both struggled this year, so we called Wallach up for a week, and he did not hit. 1 for 14, I think. So Larry Parrish, baby, has reclaimed third base for your Montreal Expos. Not that we didn't try with Timmy Wallach, but I gotta say,
Pitcher, Dennis.
I expected a little more fireworks.
We're gonna get a 1-0,
Right?
like 15-inning game.
I don't want to jinx it, but we got a no-hitter going. Just saying. As Dennis Martinez steps in.
Shortstop, Orlando, Cabrera.
Orlando Cabrera, the man who replaced Nomar in
Number
Boston.
22, Chris Iannetta.
Iannetta. I remember
Ubaldo
Hideo Nomo
Jimenez.
threw a no-hitter in Colorado when he was with the Dodgers.
No, I don't remember that.
It was when Nomo Mania had faded quite a bit, and he was eminently more hittable. And then he threw a no-no in Colorado when we were just finding out that Colorado was literally the launching pad. That was really something. So,
wow.
Again, not to jinx it, but a ball now. Not quite that.
First baseman, Todd Helton.
I don't know if it's a little known fact about Todd Helton. Do you know what his position was in college at the University of Tennessee?
Quarterback.
Quarterback. Peyton Manning's backup. Guess how much time he got? Ooh. Oh yeah.
Wow. Laser. More anecdotes, man. I'm telling you. We just
Right?
Third baseman,
That could have got a speeding ticket right there. So put it on the board. 1-0. More to come. Maybe not right away, but
baseman, Jose.
we should give Hawk Harrelson a call, man. Like he's probably available to help on that.
to sit in.
And he seems like a cool guy. He'd probably be down for that.
I don't know if we can afford our viewership to go down though.
Hawk? Are you kidding me?
I think
Special guest?
I think Hawk is great as long as you're a White Sox fan, right? But
Oh, dude, can you imagine the anecdotes that Hawk Harrelson
yeah,
tell? My goodness.
that's true. We probably have.
I mean,
to
he
have
probably
him
knows
on.
all the speakeasies and
But if we didn't have the White Sox as the game of the week, he'd probably be like, "Who am I rooting for here? Let me know." So because the shtick only works one way.
oh, I would give up my chair for Hawk.
Well, yeah, we probably both we'd have him on and we'd just let him go. Right?
Oh, are you kidding me? Dude, I had amazing stories.
Go for it, Hawk. All right, Vlad Guerrero. Angel fans wanted Guerrero too,
Left fielder,
but
Moises.
it really wasn't that close. And poor Moises Alou, who had a really good career.
Left fielder,
And
Carlos
all I remember him for is
Gonzalez.
the Bartman non-catch
Yeah.
and that broken leg, right? Oh, so bad. All right, Carlos Gonzalez just called up.
Look at that.
Let's send
him.
Save the
Second
ball,
baseman,
right?
AJ.
Save that ball.
Lee-ma-hue-ya.
We're not sitting him at 40% with
Hit and
Lee-ma-hue-ya.
run.
I'll hit and run with Lee-ma-hue-ya.
Lee-ma-hue-ya.
Sure.
Oh man, let's do it. Ah.
Yeah, that's not how it's supposed to work. That's the opposite of hit and run.
That's on Lee-ma-hue-ya.
That's just an and run. And considering it was Gary Carter back there,
Oh, I forgot.
man, probably should have thought about that. That's fine. We're playing with house money here. We're up 1-0.
Shortstop, Troy Tulowitzki.
That's a great pronunciation.
Doing a good
First
job.
baseman, Andres
I
Galarraga.
must have maybe some Polish programmers.
Maybe. Hey, so speaking of superstition, as a fan, when is it okay to go, you know what, he's got a no-hitter going? Because we're through 4. That's still early, I think.
That's still,
right?
I think you can up till 6th inning.
In the 6th?
I think then you got to kind of, wait, are we going to talk about it? You're talking about go silent on it?
No. I'm saying,
Or bring it up?
Just as a fan, if you're watching your team and your guy has a no-no going,
6th.
at what point? 6th? That seems legit. Yeah, because look what we did.
Nah,
Center fielder,
It's a big cat.
Rondell
What are you going to do?
White.
he's awesome.
I had forgotten, and I saw the clip this week. He missed a season as a
Catcher,
Brave.
Gary
With,
Carter.
I remember what kind of cancer it had, but he had cancer and missed the whole season with, I assume, chemo and radiation and the whole bit.
Yeah.
And I saw the clip of his first at bat back, and I had totally forgotten about it. And the announcer goes, if he hits one here, this whole place is going to lose it. And then, pow!
Oh.
Dead center. Crowd went nuts.
I'm gonna write a note. We'll find that clip.
Oh,
That's
it's
gotta
so
be on
good.
the web.
And they had to show, and there's some line from the commentator as he's around. They lay out, right, and let the moment speak for itself. And then one of them says something like, "Oh man, I think he broke it," right? Like broke the stadium. It's really cool. So I've forgotten that it happened. So, and Galarraga's an interesting guy because he was a little bit like Fred McGriff. He was really popular everywhere he went, but he moved more than you would think a borderline Hall of Fame guy should. He had the Montreal bit, he had the Colorado bit, he had the Atlanta bit, even a bit of a threat in St. Louis at the end.
Was he he was a Cardinal, huh?
At the very end, yeah. That was a weird thing too. Will Clark ended his career with the Cardinals and hit like 329 his last year.
You're talking about agreeable Will Clark?
Well, I don't know if we ever met agreeable Will Clark, but I mean, he was obviously a San Fran legend, really good in Texas, very good in Baltimore, and then had just like a year, maybe 2 years in St. Louis, and he was still hitting at like, I don't know, 36, and it was just like, I'm good.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, I guess there's something to be said for walking away. Barry Sanders is the archetype, right? You never think of Barry as old because he walked away in his prime. But I'm more of a, they'll have to find me to get this jersey back kind of guy. But that's just me, I guess.
Here's another comment.
Warren Crowbar. Yeah, Frank White. Everybody wants Frank White in Kansas City. I wish their second baseman were doing better. But it's been a tough year for the Royals in eternal baseball. All right, so back to it. We got runners on. Rondell White's not going, I don't think. Although, as you pointed out, everyone runs on Ionetta.
Third baseman, Larry Parrish.
And now, instead of 46% for Steele, he's at 89. So we'll try to calm him down. That's better. For Larry Parrish. Yeah. We want Wallach. You can hear the fans chanting, we want Wallach. And Larry Walker, the turncoat.
Center fielder, Ellis Burks.
All right. Walker's a bit of a great, well, 74% is close enough to consider, but with Gary Carter behind the plate.
Yeah, he's sort of laid his marker down already.
Yeah, I'd be willing to entertain a hit and run thought, but I don't think you can send Larry Walker against Gary Carter.
Let's give Ellis a chance.
All right. Oh, they picked him off anyway. Doesn't matter. He wasn't going to go. We just told you, don't go.
That was just cruel.
Well,
Catcher, Chris, the Aneta.
Who would have put money down on pitcher's duel tonight from Coors Field?
Pitcher, Dennis Martinez.
Dennis Martinez flexing that muscle with a 5-hopper to first.
Shortstop, Orlando Cabrera. Second baseman,
Dude, Baldo's just dealing right now.
Remember that his breakout year? Remember where he won like 14 starts before the All-Star game? He was ridiculous, and then it came back to earth pretty quick.
Pitcher, Ubaldo Jimenez.
All right, Ubaldo. Well, I figure anytime they put the ball in
First
play,
baseman,
that's a win for the
Todd
pitcher.
Helton.
I know.
Third baseman, Nolan Arenado.
Maybe.
Oh, it's got a chance. Oh.
No. Well, we could send him to second if we want, but.
Yeah. Who's up? Wait, who's up next?
Well, you know what? It's Rondell White with a popcorn arm and all the way out there in right center.
All right.
3.
Feeling it, huh? Let's do it then.
All right, fine. Go get him, Todd Helton. Oh boy.
Yes.
Left fielder,
Yes.
Carlos.
Because we are baseball magicians. All right, Cargo. Look at that.
Wow. That's all you, man.
Right? That doesn't score if we don't move on the weak arm of Rondell White. No offense, Rondell, but it's the numbers. So Lee-ma-hue-ya steps in.
Lee-ma-hue-ya.
That's got to be the best validation for a guy who probably had his name mispronounced every year in elementary and middle school.
Yes.
Is to become a major league player, and now nobody gets his name wrong. Right?
He's very good. Yeah, major league player.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got
a.
Wow.
Go get him.
Lee-ma-hue-ya.
It's a Lee-ma-hue-ya.
Shortstop, Troy Tulowitzki.
Now we're running away with it.
Now we can test Guerrero's arm.
That's right. Now we can get loose. Yep.
Right fielder,
Starting the
Walker.
conga line here around the bases.
Center fielder, Ellis.
Come on, Ellis.
There we go.
Send him.
83%.
Oh.
I think that's a yes.
Heck yeah.
All right, let's go, Troy. Do we send Walker to third at a 2/3 chance? I would say no with 2 outs.
I agree.
And a single to left too. That's pretty easy throw for moistness. So no, we'll let him stay. Oh, got away from him anyway.
Catcher,
That Gary
Chris
Carter's awful.
Iannetta.
He'll be drinking after the game, I guarantee. All right, Chris Iannetta. Oh boy.
Damn, big inning.
Pitcher, Ubaldo Jimenez.
And now the pitcher's up. And we don't have anybody ready in the pen, so we couldn't replace him if we wanted to. He's throwing a 1-hitter. Probably better leave him in.
He's going the distance.
Well, he was in a hurry to get back on the mound. That's for
Guerrero.
sure. I love how svelte Vladdy is here.
I was gonna say, man, looks like that's like a prom photo or something.
Yeah, very GQ smooth right there.
Left fielder, Moises Alou.
Somebody put up a picture on a Braves board this week of Pablo Sandoval, who had a big walk-off extra inning hit this week, or a pinch hit in the 9th to win it or something. And it was him hustling to first. And I mean, he was headed towards first, but there were parts of his body pointing in lots of different directions.
Yeah, their shirt tail just out, just like a skiing yard sale, just garments everywhere.
They posted it and it said the guy was like, "I'm so glad to see the veteran leadership on the Braves," and I'm like, I couldn't resist. So I said, does veteran leadership mean he ate all the rookies?
My dad would have loved that joke, man. My dad was the originator of the Kirby Porkit joke from way back when. Yeah.
Speaking of, here we are in Denver at Coors Field. Doesn't that got Rich Rotundi written all over it?
Well, yeah. I mean, we still back in the day. I took a couple road trips and hit some games.
Didn't he come through Colorado or Boulder or Denver or somewhere?
Yeah, he Golden. Yeah, grew up in Golden.
So here, no wonder we're playing well.
Yeah.
Well, we were.
He's got some great stories about working at the old Coors brewery.
Galarraga.
Just the like very non-OSHA-esque stories.
I'm sure the rules were a little different back then.
Apparently, they had full like just freezer or refrigerators in the break room full of beer. So that guys would just come in there and just on their breaks and just pound beers and then go operate their forklift and
no problem.
Just no worries.
I drive better drunk. Meanwhile, Gary Carter was like, you should be careful about your alcoholic intake.
Can I have a word? He's like the really nice foreman. Just
hey guys.
We'll have to Photoshop like a Coors hat on him.
Just because you can drive a forklift backwards doesn't mean
right.
And here he is. Speak of the angel.
Oh no! We're gonna get someone up, man. We're gonna have to actually make a double switch.
Yep, here, Jimenez down here is where it shows the pitches he's throwing and the kind of his limit is 120. So he's at 94. He's got 2 outs. We got a 6-run lead. He can get out of this.
He's earned it.
I mean, he may give up a couple, but look at that. Clean sheet. I'm going to take a look here at Montreal. All right, so Martinez is up next. They'll pinch hit for him for sure. And then, well, it's all right-handers other than Didro. So when we do go to the pen in an inning or 2, who's tough on righties? Ottavino. Super tough.
There you go. Wow, and, that's pretty good bullpen.
Street and Steve Reed, not bad. Looks like Street is their closer. So it looks like Ottavino and Reed are our better options when we get there.
All right.
Third baseman, Nolan Arenado.
Gotta say, I really trumpeted tonight's game pretty hard to those Expo fans. And
yeah,
hasn't worked out so far.
Hey, who was the guy that
fielder Carlos
that gave the forearm shiver to Vidro back in the day? Do you remember that?
Ooh.
There was there was a double play ball, right? And then the guy kind of slowed up, and then Vidro thought he was just gonna apply a soft tag to him, and the guy just
was it Milton Bradley maybe?
It wasn't. Dodgers? It wasn't Kevin Mitchell, was it?
I don't remember. I remember the play, but I don't remember who it was.
All right, we'll look it up.
And of course, the name that pops to mind is Milton Bradley because it's the kind of thing he might have done, even though he probably didn't do it. But
or just totally a character assassinated him.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Why'd you automatically assume it was Milton Bradley?
I was gonna say it wasn't Gary Carter. I'll say that.
Have you seen Milton Bradley play? Like, it was either Bradley or Chase Utley as like a 5-year-old doing some nefarious tactics at second base.
Was Bradley the one who had the theory about the dinosaurs?
No, it's Carl Everett.
Carl Everett, that's right.
Yeah, dinosaurs didn't exist ever. And then all the bones they found are just hoaxes. Like,
I don't know if he's doing the hoaxing, but they are busy.
Everett was in Boston the same time Izzy Alcantara was in AAA for them. The guy who super kicked the catcher. And I'm like, please God, let them play in the same outfield.
I love it.
So
We're definitely
good.
adding the Izzy video to our social media feed.
So good. I gave him credit for that because he didn't hurt the guy, really. He hit him right in the chest protector.
But you're gonna say, like, you're gonna think about, if you're the catcher, you're gonna think twice about going inside on Izzy going forward, right?
Yep. Most people don't take it out on the catcher, right? But
Shortstop, Troy Tulowitzki.
now, Dennis Martinez is going to hit his pitch limit here in about 7 pitches. Not sure why they've stuck with him this far into the 7th, but
I think they're trying to lower his 6.17 ERA.
They might.
Dennis
but
Martinez.
all right, there's no way they're going to let him bat. But
strong.
So
Jimenez
Jimenez has
strong.
21 pitches before he's gassed.
I think he's going, man. I think we got it.
All right, if he gets a guy or two on, though, we probably better get somebody up in the pen.
I agree. That's sound baseball.
All right, we'll see where we go with this. I can't believe they let Dennis Martinez
Orlando
bat.
Guerrero.
Down
Yeah,
6-0 in the 7th. 5 pitches from his pitch count. That's problematic, but okay. Because here comes the rally.
Second baseman, Jose Vidro.
Keep Cabrera close. Oh, look at that. He got emboldened. He was 76. I throw it. Now he's 83. All right. So he's going to go, and there's no way Ionetta will get him.
Even with a pitch out?
We can pitch out if we want. It might give Ionetta a fighting chance.
I like it, man.
Right.
Give the Italian a chance.
I didn't go. One more. All right, fine. Little cat and mouse game going on here. All right, fine. He's going to go. Well, it's not really a Baldo's fault when you make him throw 2 pitch outs to start the at bat, but
I think I got my. Did I get my Vidros mixed up? I may have gotten my. Is there another Vidro?
I don't think so.
That picture looks so. I think I'm having a senior moment here.
The pick might be wrong too. That's possible. All right, so Ottavino's the better of the 2. We'll get him warming up just in case this gets uglier.
What a performance, though.
Yeah, because Jimenez is done in 6 pitches, so this will be his last batter. See what we can do with Vlad.
Double play ball.
Oh boy.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Left fielder, Moises Alou.
Did we let him finish? Did we let him finish?
Well, 3 pitches into this at bat, he's going to be gassed. So
let's do it. Let's do it.
Only I'm going to go on record as saying I think this is a bad idea, but we have a 6-run lead. So okay. All right.
Right fielder,
get it done.
Larry Walker.
All right.
Larry Walker getting it done
Wow. Boom.
Pitching for
We had
Andy,
when I was in radio, we did a baseball show on the weekends.
Ellis,
and as a thank you, we got press passes and got to go to the All-Star game in Denver, in Coors. But we were the weekend show guys from Arizona. Guess where those seats are, media-wise? They're over here, right behind Vladdy. They're behind the chain link wall in right field. Now it is field level. I mean, legitimately field level, which is pretty cool. But man, you can't see nothing. Can't see nothing from out there. But it was fun to go. So Ellis Burks made a nice catch. There's a little single here.
Chris Vianetta.
So what year did they play? Did the Rockies play the Bo Sox in the series? Was it 2007?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So my friends and I, a bunch of us, someone secured tickets for Game 5 of the, of the World Series. So that was super disappointing. I have to say, we had our flights and everything all set up, and
they only had to win one.
Just nick one game. That's all we need from you, right?
Was not as disappointing as 04 for me as a Yankee fan.
Ooh.
When they come roaring back to knock the Yanks out at home,
Brutal.
And I remember just bitter me going, that's fine. Because St. Louis had annihilated somebody in like 5 games. And they were just waiting. And I'm like, fine, go get your ass kicked by the Cardinals. Congratulations.
There's no way they were losing the Cardinals.
No,
There's no
like,
way you're coming back from 3-0 against the Yankees.
6 games later, I'm watching until the final out and then turning it off right before it happens because I won't watch it. Not even going to watch it. So bad. But anyway, good times. Good to see Chris Iannetta getting his exercise in. I don't think we're sending Burks to third with a 7-0 lead.
No.
That's bad karma.
I'm kind of proud of myself for not doing that bad Irish accent with Andy McGaffigan.
Right? Oh, yeah.
I'm getting better at this.
I didn't realize we had.
Yeah.
Didn't realize. Oh, okay. Now Baldo's coming out. So we get to pinch hit for him. That's fun. Against a right-hander. So we'll look at our roster and who's
Trevor Story.
Righties. Should be Charlie Blackmon.
All right.
Well, it's either Blackmon, Holiday, or Story. Let's see how they're hitting this year specifically. Nick Hundley is who they suggest. All right, looks like it's Matt Holiday.
All right.
Who has a large cranium, so I respect him.
Pinch hitting.
Look at that head.
Number 5.
That looks like an orange on top of a toothpick.
Dude.
And that's not really what we wanted, but fine.
First baseman.
It looks like a takeout slide at second. Iannetta slides hard at second, and there will be no throw to first.
Iannetta does not. There's no quit in Iannetta.
Could you imagine up 7-0 in the bottom of the 8th? And he just flipped Orlando Cabrera at second base.
What would Hal McRae do, Mark?
He'd probably come running in from Kansas City to drop kick Iannetta with cleats on.
He takes him out from the other direction of the bag. I never saw him coming.
The post-game press conference would be like, you in the back. Yeah, Hal McRae, Kansas City Inquirer. Where can I find Chris Iannetta?
It does seem Hal McRae, you're right. I'm going to buy that man dinner.
Right. Hey, I'd like to talk to your catcher. All right, Todd Helton. Man.
Dude, this is getting ugly.
It was a whitewash.
Arenado.
Nolan Arenado. Is it too soon to point out what a great player he is for all our Rocky fans out there? I don't mind that they traded him. They should be rebuilding in Colorado, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't get anything for him. And you get the sneaky feeling that Trevor Story might not get moved like he should at the deadline for as much as possible. Because the Mets just showcased how you do it, right? You trade for the guy before his free agent year. You show him how great it is to be on your squad, and you have the best chance to keep him. But
well, yeah, the money, the amount of money didn't hurt either.
Yeah, not everybody can do that. But if you're,
for that amount of money, people will play in Nome, Alaska, right?
That's true. But if you're a team that can swim in those waters, and with, I mean, some people, because there's like 5 great shortstops who are going to be free agents at the end of the year. So I got to believe you don't want to be the last guy, right?
Yeah, right.
You're going to want to get in there. I'm sure Lindor is totally fine that he got traded and signed a long-term deal and done. So, well, anyway, we're not sending Holiday home. 8-0.
We gotta get this game out. This hat is so incredibly uncomfortable, but I'm gonna ride out the full 9.
We'll pick it up.
Okay. Feels like tiny needles just getting thrust into my skull. But I'm gonna ride this out for the cause.
Unfortunately, the Rockies just keep hitting.
I may pass out from pain.
I got to have some questions about the AI today because McGaffigan is gassed now at 23 pitches. He must have pitched recently. And they don't care. I mean, it's 8-0, but 9-0. They don't care. Go get him, Andy. And Lee-ma-hue-ya. And we're not sending
Shortstop,
anybody extra
Troy
here. It's just,
Tulowitzki.
that might be it. No, he legged it out.
Tulo does not.
Fielder,
Tulo does not give up.
Keep wearing that hat.
There's
But,
no quit in this team, Weber.
no, not at all. Oh, here we go. No, we're not sending anyone extra home.
It's like 98%.
Montreal,
We got to test Guerrero's arm though, if we get a chance.
Jeff
Fielder,
Facero is a
Ellis,
starter for
Burks.
them.
Is he?
Like, you should not be in here in mop-up time, but
Uh-oh.
it
The
doesn't matter.
AI's been drinking.
Burke's going for 2.
catcher, Chris Pianeta.
Dude. Uh-oh.
Chris
Okay.
Iannetta with a sack fly.
Exactly.
Burks takes third.
Colorado, Matt Holiday.
And all of a sudden, Ellis Burks is attacked by Hal McRae.
Dude, we have a 9 spot in this inning, dude.
Well, we said it could be high scoring. We just thought it would be distributed maybe a little bit.
Oh no. Okay.
Looks like Rondell's got a beat
First
on it.
baseman,
All right.
Andres Galarraga.
Ottavino is so ready to come in. Look, he's only got 10 pitches in him because he's been warming up for 40 minutes. So immediately,
That sounds like Rav in Little League. Do you remember that story?
no, huh?
Well, he finally got a chance to pitch a game, and his coach like told him, this I forget what grade we were in, but just told him to keep warming up. So Seth counted his pitches, and I think he pitched something like almost 100 warm. He was so angry because he got in by the second inning. His arm was just hanging.
Oh no! Seth had some really good coaching over the years. I gotta say.
You're right.
Poor guy. All right, so we're gonna get Steve Reed ready because Ottavino's done. Hey, but what do you
Center
know?
fielder,
He's got 10 pitches. He only needs 9, right?
He made the most of it.
pinch hitting for Montreal.
Oh, look at this.
Rusty Staub.
Rusty.
Nicknamed Le Grand Orange, I think. They love him in Montreal. And look,
There you
he
go.
has half of their
Catcher.
hits, or a
Gary.
third.
Carter.
All right. Ottavino's at 9 pitches. We got to pull him. Got to pull him.
Okay, fine. I guess we don't want an injury.
Yeah. Okay, hang on. I went the wrong place. Bullpen, Reed.
Pitching for
Shut him
Colorado,
down, Steve.
Steve Reed.
That's a good looking picture of Steve Reed up there, by the way. The salt and pepper goat.
Yeah.
Gary Carter.
Appreciate that.
Third baseman, Larry Parrish.
What was it? Lee-ma-hue-ya?
Lee-ma-hue-ya? Or something like
Lee-ma-hue-ya?
Larry Parrish.
Pinch hitting for
Oh, look.
Montreal.
Delino.
The Shields.
Leading the league in eyebrow. But and thankfully, mercifully, it's over.
The final score from Coors Field, Colorado 15.
All right. I'm
Montreal.
going to need some ibuprofen in this
man.
helmet.
Picks up the win.
Yeah.
He is now 2-3. Dennis Martinez gets the loss. He is now 3-5 on the season. DJ Lee-ma-hue hit home run number 5 of the season. Number 6. Todd Helton hit number 3. Time of the game, 3 hours.
15-0, man.
My favorite part about this whole thing is normally at the end of the game when this screen pops up, there's a bunch of players on both sides, right? Showing who played well today.
Just missing.
Conspicuous by their absence. The
They snuck,
whole Expos team.
they just snuck out the visitors' locker room, the side door.
I mean, Rusty Staub has to be your MVP, right? 1 for 1.
Guy's on fire.
Oh man, I'm telling you. And then and it didn't help too. Here's the stuff rating, right? Martinez had his regular stuff, but McGaffigan and Facero were both scuffling. So, and the Colorado's guys were normal. So, well, we didn't mean to offend our brothers from the north because one of our favorite things in the league is that the Expos are back And like we've said, expansion teams usually have a harder go than some of the teams that have been around forever. But Colorado's an expansion team too, and they came to play today. So I guess Ellis Burks with those 4 RBI, the 3 for 5 day, looking pretty strong. But there we go. We improved now to 3-5 on our game of the week. That's 3 wins in a row. We'll be back hopefully with 2 more teams that you haven't seen yet next week. If you're new to Eternal Baseball, there's lots of ways you can connect with what we're doing here. The best way is our website, eternalbaseball.com, where we post the standings on the scoreboard, the league leaders, and the box scores every day, other than Friday, which is our day off. Every day you can check in and see how your team is doing. We have team-specific message boards where you can talk with other fans of your team and give us suggestions. We always say we'll never know a team better than its diehard fans. So if we've missed a guy, or if there's a guy who's red hot, who's not playing enough, a guy who needs to sit, a change you need in the bullpen, let us know. I'm sure you'll see it before we will. So let us know if there's a way we can make your favorite team more competitive within the rules. But you can also check us out on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter, and just brand new this week, our brand new Instagram account. So lots of ways to connect with Eternal Baseball. So you can sign up for our newsletter at eternalbaseball.com and let us know what you think and what we can do better, because it is season 1. So we want to find ways to make this as interesting and fun as possible. And 15-0 isn't exactly the way to do it. But sometimes you're the hammer and sometimes you're the nail. And we were the nail a lot the first 5 weeks. So kudos, I guess, to the Rockies for another nail biter on the moon. So I think that'll do it. Take a look at our website. We will let you know what's going on later this week for our game of the week next week. For Brent Rotundi, I'm Mark Weber. And as always, we hope you have enjoyed another thrilling edition of the Eternal Baseball Podcast.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
See ya.